Good afternoon, it's Mr. Griffin. I'm gonna fight with the sound a little bit with the train going by here behind me, carrying our garbage somewhere. I'm taking a ride through the Bronx and I just saw this amazing bit of engineering that I thought those of you who wanted to be engineers might want to learn a little bit more about. That what you're looking at right there is the High Bridge. Guess why it's called the High Bridge? You're right. It was built in 1839. It wasn't. You can see the people walking up there. See somebody walking up there on the top. It wasn't built to carry people. It was actually built to, there's a pipe inside there. There were several pipes that were used to carry water into Manhattan from the upstate reservoirs. But it was built in 1839. It was built 170 years ago. And it is the most amazing bit of architecture. When it was built, it was the tallest structure in the United States. Nobody had ever built anything like it in the New World. Not many people even in Europe. The guy who engineered it, who was a self-taught engineer, actually had to go back to reading about the Romans and about the way they built their aqueducts. So this train has taken up a lot of our view, but I gotta keep going. I'm gonna ride up closer to it in a minute. But way over there at the other end, if we could see it, is where it comes into the Bronx, comes out of the Bronx, and it runs out. It runs across the Harlem River. We can't see the river, and it goes into Manhattan. And that tower you're looking at up there was actually used. They would pump the water up to the top of it, and it would come falling down really hard and increase the pressure, so people in higher buildings and upper Manhattan could get their own water. All right, I'm just gonna ride up a little closer to this thing. I'm hoping we can hear this when I'm done, right? Just to give you a better look at it. Remember, 1839, they didn't even have good trains. Train systems didn't work, so they weren't building train tracks. All this work that you're seeing, this 100-foot tall arch that goes up over the river, was built with people pulling things up by hand, using steam. They had steam engines. And horses and things. And that's what they would use. You can see that's all granite. Remember, we've looked closely at granite. It's really hard. It's going to be really strong. That's why it's lasted since 1839. Now that metal part they put in about 100 years ago, because they needed bigger boats to go by on the river. But if we get up closer here to this structure, look at how big it is. 100 feet from the river up to the top of that arch, and then on top of there, you've got, right now it's a 7.5-foot pipe. Used to carry water, it hasn't carried water in a long time. It's the aqueduct. Coming down from Croton, coming down, go across, over to Manhattan. All to bring water to Manhattan was its real purpose. You look at that arch, it's not being held together so much by the mortar, the cement in between the granite blocks. It's being held together by its own force. And one holds up the other. This arch comes down, presses down, it's being held up from the bottom, and then this one holds up the next one. Everything holds in everything else. But it's amazing. Get a closer look at this. These stones were put in place by hand 170 years ago. All right, 180 years ago. It's just absolutely amazing, and it's still in really good condition. And like I said, it's mostly being held together by its own shape, its own pressure. Look at how big and beautiful that is. That's the High Bridge. Now you can come here. Not this part, it's hard to get down here where I am, but you can come here and go up on the top. From over there, the High Bridge, you look for High Bridge Park, you can get up there and you can actually walk across this bridge to Manhattan, and it's a really beautiful thing to do. This is the things that we can see right here in our own neighborhoods, okay? This amazing pieces of construction near our amazing river. It's not actually a river. Harlem River is a tidal strait. I'll explain that another year, okay? But here we go. Come down and see the High Bridge. See just how beautiful this thing is, even after all of these years. Bye, folks. Hope you're enjoying your summer.